Hello friends and welcome to Wolfquest Anniversary Edition. Sorry, that was my headphones on my microphone. Which Wolfquest is one of my all-time favourite games, 100%. And it's a game where you live life as a wild wolf in Yellowstone. When you start the game from scratch, you are a 2-year-old wolf who's just dispersed. You have to learn to hunt, find a mate, start a family, raise your pups to 20 pounds, although the developers are actually working on a huge update for the game that they've been working on for a really long time now, called the Wolfquest Saga, where you'll actually be able to play the game until your wolves are like your pups are adults during over the years, sort of thing. And not just until they're 20 pounds and still pups. But yes, welcome to Wolfquest Anniversary Edition. It is set in Yellowstone with prey wolves, and basically, yeah. I guess we'll start playing and I'll explain the certain things, but I'm going to say this really quickly. There is no such thing. I've said this before in Planet Zoo. Alpha, all of those roles are not real. They're not accurate. They're not actual roles. A wild wolf pack, and this goes for any other kinds of wolves as well. Yeah, any other kinds of wolves, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely. Function as just a family. The male and female alphas are just the parents, and the rest of the members of the pack are their offspring. So yeah, just so you know, so you don't get the wrong idea. This game is so good, so fun. You can do really, really in-depth storytelling with it, as well as just straight up playing it. It's really realistic, but enough about the game. Let's actually play it. So I already created a wolf when I started recording, and then I realized I hadn't turned on my microphone, so this is Hibiscus, and I will explain why she's called Hibiscus and not a real, or well, no, not real, but Yellowstone wolfy kind of name. This is just not it's favorited. That's just the base wolf that when you but let's have a look at Hibiscus, and I'll explain all of this in a minute. But I think I mentioned that when you start a wolf from scratch it's 2 years old, but yes, so this is her backstory. Hibiscus was born outside of Yellowstone, where poachers proved a fatal enemy for her parents. Luckily, researchers discovered her and her siblings and took them. I'll just edit that. And took them to a rehabilitation center for wolves, where they were raised to become hopefully successful wild wolves. Now that Hibiscus and her siblings are 2 years old and big enough to survive on their own, they were released into Slough Creek in Yellowstone, where they will be protected from humans. But Yellowstone itself can be just as deadly as its sanctuary, as the competition between rival wolves and other apex predators is ferocious, and Hibiscus will need to learn how to not only fight them, but to avoid them and start her own family. So yeah, the researchers decided to call her Hibiscus. They don't actually know, these wolves don't actually know what a hibiscus is. But because, and I'll explain Iron Wolf in just a sec. So because she was released from the rehabilitation center, they gave her the like tracking collar, what's it called, like, yeah, radio collar, so that they can like know where she is, and maybe even in this little spin-off universe of the real world, maybe even there's like a documentary about her. But because, you know, this is all really strange and she's relatively cautious, yeah, relatively quite cautious, quite wary of other wolves, but she's naturally in the middle of lazy and energetic, so I'll just save that. But we can actually change her personality in the future as she gets used to things. In fact, I'll come down here. So these are the coats. Now there's genetic coat colours of grey and genetic coat colours of black, and I'll just explain this. About genetic coat colour, in wolves, one gene determines if their coat is black or not. Non-black wolves are considered grey even if they are brown. White coats are generally those of older wolves. This gene, called the K locus, also has an effect on the wolf's survival. Grey wolves have two small variants of the K locus, KK, and get no survival benefit from this gene. Most black wolves have one big and one small variant, KK, and this combination seems to give them extra resistance to disease. Some black wolves have two big variants, KK, but this is usually fatal, either before birth or as a pup. There are very few KK adult wolves. The K locus of each parent determines the K locus of the pups, and the odds of each outcome can be calculated using a Punnett square. In short, two grey wolf parents will have all KK pups. A black and a grey parent will have a mix of KK and KK pups. And two black coat parents can have any type of pup, including those with KK, which means smaller litters but healthier pups, since most will be KK. Kind of confusing, but kind of explains it. Eye colours, we could even give her missing eyes and corneal edema, which is like an eye disease that does that to wolves' eyes. It's not really not pretty. These are her house, so that was the primary howl, and this is the secondary howl, which is used to like call mates over long distances and stuff. And I decided to give her a little bit of a notched ear. Just because the radio collar, she's just in the middle with body size. I think, yeah, she's in the middle. I didn't give her any attributes. I call them stats though, so spend points to change attributes of your wolf, so their strength, stamina, speed and health. To increase one attribute, you must take away from another. Example, a wolf with -1 strength but +1 speed will be faster but will do less damage when hunting, prey and fighting. And as our wolves age over the years that we play them, in game of course, you can give them age perks. Personality. About personality, other wolves you meet, from potential mates to hostile wolves defending their territory, have personalities that affect their behavior. Some will be bold, ready to dash into a hunt or a fight without hesitation. Others will be cautious, holding back until they feel more confident about their odds. Some will be energetic, moving about constantly, whilst others will be rather lazy. And some will be quite social, quick to initiate or respond to social actions and emotes. Others will be loners, keeping to themselves. Your wolf, of course, will behave as you choose, but since your pup's personalities are partially determined by the personality of the parents, you can configure your wolf's personality for that purpose. Which would be pretty strategic, and helpful for raising pups. If you just want them to sit at the den, so it's easier to take care of them. But I like the storytelling, so Iron Wolf. An Iron Wolf lives on the edge, always one false move from permanent death. An Iron Wolf can only have one game save, and upon death you cannot create a new game with it. So I'm having her be an Iron Wolf on accurate mode. And in case you guys don't know, since I played this game for so long, I only ever play on accurate mode, and before I made the channel, all of my wolves were basically Iron Wolves at that point, so about Iron Wolf mode. In the real world, wolves are one false move or unlucky kick away from death. In Wolfquest, you too can live life on the edge by choosing Iron Wolf mode when creating a wolf. In this mode, you can select Iron Wolf mode only when creating a new wolf. Then, when you start a new game with an Iron Wolf, only challenging and accurate difficulty levels are available in options. Playing Iron Wolf on easy would be rather silly. You can only have one save file. The game autosaves every 2 minutes. You can manually save as well, updating the single autosave. If the game ends without the Iron Wolf dying, for example, if all your pups die, then you can start a new game with it in the main menu. If an Iron Wolf dies, it is permanently dead. You can view it in My Wolves, but you cannot start a new game with it. If your Iron Wolf survives the entire pup raising arc, you can jump ahead to next year or start a new game on a Yellowstone map to continue its life for another year. Iron Wolves are not playable in multiplayer games. For the ultimate challenge, enable permadeath on your mate, which I have also done in settings. So, this is Hibiscus. No load, no saves. And by the way, in case, because I'm actually using the account that I made quite a few years ago, which is not called room temperature milk, it is called Blue Monkey, because at the time, well, I have a, like, okay, sorry, I have a soft monkey, a blue one, that is very precious to me, that I got when I was very young. Because I was very young, I called him Blue Monkey. In fact, I literally have him on my shoulder right now. And so I would basically call everything, like all my usernames and stuff, Blue Monkey. That was before I was even thinking about YouTube. Well, I was thinking about YouTube, but I wasn't really considering the names and everything, and yeah, and yeah, that's also where my name comes from. Like, I call myself Blue on the internet because I don't really want to use my real name if I'm being completely honest, because of privacy reasons, and also, as you can tell, I am quite young, so gosh, I'm just looking at Hibiscus and she looks way prettier than she actually seemed when I was making her. And at the time I also didn't realise that there's someone on YouTube with millions of subscribers called Blue Monkey, so if you ever see that, just pretend it's room temperature milk. Another very brief note, I have done many achievements, including Carmela. So I actually got it by accident. And in case you don't know, Carmela is an extremely rare achievement. So yeah, I have all the DLCs. So we can basically just look at the achievements and see if maybe our wolves have done them, and then just note it down. Gosh, but with all of that aside, it is time to create a new game with Hibiscus. So I mentioned Sloth Creek, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps, including all the DLCs. Technically Lost River as a whole is 4 maps, but yes, so there's Amethyst Mountain, Sloth Creek, the Lost River Classic, which is from the earlier versions, the Lost River DLC, because in the earlier versions you can have pups, but in the DLC you can, and it's a totally different map. Well, same map, just really modern and everything. Or Halvoring Mountain. Every single map, apart from Lost River, are real places in Yellowstone. Lost River is not in Yellowstone and it is not real. But yeah, Sloth Creek, and before there was an update a while back in like June, I think, where you could do all of the quests in any map. Apart from Lost River, unless you had the DLC, because before that update you would have to be in autumn or fall as the Americans call it, in Amethyst Mountain. Then you would travel with your mate to Sloth Creek where you would raise your pups. But now you can do all quests in any map. So I have decided to choose Sloth Creek. First meadow, second meadow. I'm gonna go for second meadow. And yeah. Oh, cougars prey upon elk, mostly calves, mule deer, bighorn sheep, pronghorn, and smaller animals such as rodents and birds, which is really interesting. And it makes sense that cougars would like prey on smaller animals because they are quite small. Well, you know, they're cats, they're stealth, they're small, and they're solitary, they aren't able to, you know, big packs. You don't get like cat clans of cougars. So especially since they're ambush predators. Oh, snowshoe hares are active all year round, mostly at night. But yeah, especially since they're ambush predators, it really makes sense for them to not be able to hunt the big animals. Oh, okay, here we are. Well, elk are big, but like the calves. Founding a new pack, you are a grey wolf born in the northern range of Yellowstone National Park. Well, for Hibiscus that isn't true, but okay. You learn the ways of the wolf in your birth pack, which again isn't really true for Hibiscus, but still. Now that you are 2 years old, it's time to venture out on your own to find a home and start a family of... Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Learn to hunt. As a new arrival here in Yellowstone Sloth Creek watershed, you must learn how to hunt the prey animals here, mostly elk, but also mule deer and moose. You'll have to become a good hunter before you can persuade another wolf to become your mate. How to play. Complete this quest by killing 2 elk. You'll find elk herds in the highlands to the north and south. Later in the fall, they'll move down to lower elevations. Review goals in the quest menu. Wolf Badge. The Wolf Badge provides key information about your wolf. Health. Lose health during attacks when biting and fighting other animals. Energy, but I call it stamina. Expend the energy with action. You will have less energy when digesting a big meal. Health and energy recharge automatically and faster when resting and sleeping. Hunger. Wolves can go days without eating, but eventually you must find food. And sleep. I called it energy though. Wolves sleep for much of the day, so when this meter is empty, it's time for a nap. The compass shows cardinal directions, as well as custom map markers, sometimes the destination of your current mission. The hex shows whose territory you're in. Black means nobody has claimed this spot. Other colors are keyed on the pack territories shown on the world map. Okay. So let's open the map. The world map. Use the map to locate yourself in the game world. See the territories of stranger wolf packs and place markers which will appear on your compass in the game. So, this is Yellowstone National Park. We are currently here in Sloth Creek. Down here is Amethyst Mountain, and up here is Hellroaring Mountain, which, as you can see, is actually on the border. So in Hellroaring Mountain, if you go really far north in the map, you can actually exit the park but still be in the map, and you can get shot in game. You can get shot, and your wolves can die. But so these are the packs. We are currently in Second Meadow. We're just down here. So purple is the Junction Butte pack. This like a cyan teal is Crevice Lake, and the red is Oxbow. Personally, I'm used to Crevice Lake being red, Junction Butte being like either, I think like this color or green or dark blue. And Oxbow was introduced, Oxbow was introduced relatively recently as a pack, so I'm not really even used to Oxbow's colours, but you know, you can change the colours of the packs, but for now we'll keep it like this. Let's hide the pack territory. So this way we can actually travel to different maps. So if we go all the way down here, we can travel to Amethyst Mountain, and all the way up here we can travel to Howroaring Mountain. And so yeah, Sloth Creek, over here is Burst Meadow, Monitor Creek, but okay. Oh, look at her! Oh, she's so pretty. Just wandering around in this strange world. But don't worry, there's a lot more. I know that's probably not very reassuring because we've gone through so much already, but oh, just look at how pretty it is, and down over there's the meadow. But let's go into Scent View. There's elk nearby, Scent View. Look for scents floating in the air or on the ground. Hang on, if I... Oh, it doesn't work. I was trying to keep the tips. But there's an elk herd nearby. Without a pack to help you, try to get the weaker elk. Oh my goodness, these are quite skittish. Targeting animals is yellow. Yellow arrow. Okay, I was honestly not expecting this. We're gonna have her sprint. So elk are the main prey of wolves in Yellowstone. Okay, that's cow elk, but you'll notice that there are actually smaller ones, and those are the cubs. They're much weaker, but they have their mothers to protect them. So their mothers are very fierce. Yeah, that's a mom. You can see her going behind and being really protective of the calf. We also want to make sure that we don't run into stranger wolf territory, but I think we can. Oh, there's mom. Okay. Let's see, maybe. Oh, okay. It's not too weak. Oh, I can see a beaver pond over there, and there's some pronghorn just there too. Wow, there's a lot of whoa! There's a lot of prey animals here. This herd is really skittish, because usually you'd have to try and intimidate them into running. So this is pretty good. What herd was it actually called? Primrose. Okay. It's good to know. Oh! Oh yes, I don't see mom, Keep biting! Whoa, 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 ah! Showdown! So, usually it's either, the prey is too weak to keep running, or it feels strong enough to protect itself, or it's a mom! Okay, go, 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 go! Okay, this calf, you can see that Hibiscus, it's a coyote! Well, they are not just gonna go ahead and attack wolves. Wolves can overpower coyotes, but you want to be careful if you're outnumbered, and you're not just gonna get into a fight with a coyote unless there's something to fight over. Or at least in Wolfquest, it's not really the smartest thing to put in health and energy when there's so much else that, Yes! It fell! She fell! Okay, and it's over. Whoa! Hibiscus! I was not expecting that. I was expecting Hibiscus. Oh, accidentally clicked Scent View. Hold to remember carcass. You may want to return to this carcass in the future, so hold to mark it on the compass and the world map until it has been consumed. Ah, there we go. So I have like no go on because I don't know how you guys are with go. So I want to make sure everyone's okay. But yeah, so we're gonna haul Hibiscus. She's full, and she barely has any health ticked off of her. Wow. And that is other dispersal wolves replying to her house. There are other dispersal wolves relatively close by, and that purple, that is a Junction Butte wolf replying to her house. So, how much? Oh yeah, this is the pack info. This is Hibiscus's number, her stats, perks, her injuries, and her bio. Her genetics are lower KK, which is interesting, but yeah, we're gonna have her go to sleep. I think she's feeling a little more confident, so after this episode, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit her personality a bit and make her more confident. But yes, thank you so much for watching, friends. I do sincerely hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned.